my channel. Yo.
And we're live. Boom. Oh, damn. This is my first
Surprise.
time seeing this background. Hello.
Wanted to get that reaction real time.
What the fuck? Where is this from?
It was like a video of Kanye, and he's just like, and then, I don't know. It's been circling around the internet for a long time.
What the Well, I guess welcome to another episode of Our Thoughts Live. As you can see, we're tricked out. As you know, we got the aesthetic. This is the official kickoff of the Our Thoughts holidays. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Cesco ang naman. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey.
Light one up for Christmas.
Let's go. Here to Christmas lights.
Yes, sir.
Dang,
No,
Our Thoughts holidays, man. I'm digging
And then
it.
I know. Can you believe it? We are already in November of 2021.
This is crazy, bro. We only got one more month of the year. Kind of scary.
Insane. What a year of like just not just music, but also just like life. Like so much news is happening. So much. Like I can't wait to get to December, man, and I can start pulling out my Santa hats. Because yeah, man, and yeah, not only do we have fire, we have drinks. Because we have a long stream, or not a long stream, but we got a jam-packed stream today.
I have a
We got-
healthy drink.
What is that?
I have a healthy drink.
Yerba mate.
Some booch, some kombucha, that raw kombucha.
Oh, that raw booch. Okay,
Mm.
okay. That booch juice.
Yeah. You sipping on is that a claw?
Yes, we have today with us a nice raspberry white claw.
Oh, yummy.
And if you're asking me what my favorite flavor is, I don't know. I would like to say that these taste like $1 million, but I've never seen one, and I'd love for White Claw to help me with that. So sponsor us.
That'd be dope.
please.
Endless supply?
Yeah. Oh, imagine you just call up a hotline number. It's like, oh, I need that emergency batch.
Have it fly in.
But yeah, I know. Yeah. I'll have the truck come in with all the White Claw. But hey, man, we recorded a thing the other day
Yes, sir.
that is going to be coming out sometime this weekend. I think it's it's going to be a really nice discussion type video, a video where we can kind of get off some of our takes that we don't really, get a chance to talk about. Should I go ahead and just kind of reveal it, or should we save it for?
No, we can probably reveal it. Mainly because it's gonna be like a whole series, so we can go
Okay.
ahead and just say it.
Yeah. So we're gonna be starting this new video series titled "Good Thought, Bad Thought." Basically, we had a list of artists, whether we like them or not, and we were challenged to say one good thing, one bad thing about them. We're really like not just one thing, but we just kind of go off on them and say our thoughts on them, good and bad, and that does include having to give our bad thoughts about the weekend, which.
Oh.
I'm very anxious to see your guys' reaction to that.
Bad thoughts,
and
yes. Our
yeah.
critique of the weekend.
Please do not kill us. Yeah, please do not kill us too badly, because we tried to be as objective as possible, and I'm sure even you guys will maybe agree with us even on that one. So check that out. It should be coming. I want to shoot for this weekend, but it might be Monday depending on how the things go. But it's definitely a fun one. You guys will be I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see because I feel like it'll be a fun series and super easy because people will just say like, who do you guys want us to talk about? And literally we can just list off a bunch of our favorite artists and go from there. But yeah, excited to see what you guys think of it.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys caught that, but just we're 4 minutes into this stream, and I just spilled some claw
my
on my
God.
shorts. So we are in for it today.
Just don't hit the laptop this time.
I was just gonna say I was getting a little flashback of like spilling drinks on something, on seltzer on something. So the laptop is staying far and away from my drink. For
Yeah. Okay.
sure.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. But I mean, how have you been, man? It's been a second. We missed last stream, I think, but yeah, man, how's the last couple of weeks been?
It's been pretty chill, honestly. Things have died down a little bit. I've
Yeah.
been able to kind of sit back and give my mind a break.
Mm.
Thankfully, it's in terms of just projects that I've been working on. This whole year, I've just been like balancing, everything. But no, last 2 weeks have been really good. Been really
Mm.
chill. Been able to catch up on a lot of music, which has been fun. A
Yeah,
lot of
man. So much good music too.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of crazy things in music news in the last week or so too. So it's been definitely a ride. But no, I've
Yeah.
literally just been vibing, and I've been loving the time that
Hmm.
I have, and I'm glad that I'm here talking to our people. But yeah, how have you been, bro? You been? I feel like you've been busy.
I've been busy fighting my demons, man, every day.
Oh shit! All right.
But yeah, yeah, man, just work in school, and yeah, just trying to stay above water, I think is how I describe my last couple weeks.
Mm,
And but no, I think things are kind of turning out and things are kind of easing in a little bit. So
mm-hmm.
I'll be able to relax with all you guys in a few days. And
Dope, dope.
yeah, man, I'm just very happy that we're getting a lot of new music today. Whether it be Silk Sonic, Taylor Swift. We've gotten a great week of music last week. Like, wow,
Yes, yes.
incredible. And also, Ayo, Finn Thomas. We will definitely be talking about the Astroworld Festival disaster. But we
Yeah.
want you to stick around a little bit, so we'll talk about some other stuff. In the meantime, I think it's about that time for the weekly weekend update. Damn, that was a hardcore one today.
Yeah, that was an
Machine
intense one.
Girl vibes for this.
That's the vibe. As we get closer to the
Sorry,
dawn,
we
it'll get
just
more
totally
in.
blew out your ears.
Yeah, it'll get more intense.
Okay, okay. Damn, there's more intense after that one.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on now. Also, hey, we got a miracle in the chat here.
Moderator has arrived.
Yes, our humble moderator, the only one that will be showing up today. Where are you at, Curry? If you're watching this back,
Man.
uh, first of all, you are excused. We'll give you an excuse today. You get to use up one of your sick days. But I guess it's only right since we missed last week. You can miss this week. It's cool. It's cool. But yeah, we are here with our weekly weekend update, and we got a lot to catch up on, man. Because first of all, we had our Halloween stream, and that was a lot of fun. We got to be in costume. Go check that out. Playlist with all our past streams should be in the description or somewhere. Just go
Yeah.
check out our channel. But the King of Halloween came back to claim his throne. And wow, is it cool if we swoosh over to it real quick and
Oh yes.
check it out?
I think we need to take a moment again. Even though it's not
Yes,
Halloween anymore, we didn't get to fully appreciate it on stream.
absolutely not.
Bro,
Let's see it. Look at that.
he somehow
Incredible, right?
the weekend was a white man for Halloween.
Is this white facing? Does white facing exist?
Honestly, it's very. I think this might be his best one, like in terms of like convincing or just like prosthetic wise. This one was insane. He aged
Yeah.
himself and changed his race.
Yeah, but I was just gonna ask you actually, to rank the weekend's last couple costumes. You got Beetlejuice, the Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, the Nutty Professor, obviously, like one of the
Yeah.
classic costumes, and then Marlon Brando's The Godfather.
Right. Ah,
Yeah.
man.
So what are we? It's you can't go wrong with any of these, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and also the chat. Please let us know your ranking. Again,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, the Joker, Nutty Professor, Godfather. Yeah.
I
What do you think?
I honestly like the Joker one was really cool because like you could kind of still tell it was him, but
Mhm.
how his face was just like manipulated a little bit. He had like the big old smile and the big like cheeks and stuff like that, like the Joker. and it looked really dope. Um,
Right. Yeah.
but I mean, the videos that came from the Nutty Professor costume got to be my favorite. I think my favorite video is him dancing to Too Late at some Halloween party as the Nutty Professor. Um,
Doing his little.
yeah, where he's like doing the like, whatever.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I don't know. This one, I feel like on a technical level, this has got to be the best. I mean, this is like some of the most convincing. I mean, especially the photos too. I was like, yo, this is literally The Godfather. But my favorite is still the Nutty Professor. I think that one's the funniest. And then I would go Godfather, and then
Yeah.
Joker, and then Beetlejuice.
I like that. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Godfather, Nutty Professor. No, I'm gonna go Nutty Professor, Godfather, the Joker, Beetlejuice. I think that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Just because, like, I love that he.
That's exactly mine.
Oh yeah. I think. Well, I mean, we're just always on the same wavelength, honestly. That's why we have a stream or podcast together. In case you guys don't know, but yeah, I think those costumes are just. I think again, you just can't go wrong with any of these costumes, just because he's the king of Halloween.
Yeah.
And
Again,
he just kills it every time. I remember when he showed us a little bit of the prosthetic. It was like a white kind of like thing. And people were like, is he gonna be Humpty Dumpty? Like that was this year's Shrek. Like last year we had the green stuff, and we were like, oh, okay, are we thinking Shrek? This year it was Humpty Dumpty, and I fucking love it. I love that little misdirect he'll have right before he reveals the costume. So there you go. And on whoa, my voice just cracked there in a way that it hasn't since high school. I'm so sorry you guys had to hear that. Is this already
down bad
happening? Damn. But honestly, I forgot what I was even gonna say. Let's just skip right over it. The Weeknd is the best of Halloween, the best Halloween costume guy.
Definitely.
And even though there were a lot of good costumes this year, and I like all the pictures that people took, kind of like with like they have like sets that kind of look like the character. Like The Weeknd did the same thing.
I would say
yeah, cool stuff.
Anderson .Paak had some really good costumes. He had like 3 or 4 costumes over the Halloween season. He was like Prince and like Stevie Wonder and all that. Like he was really killing it too. So
incredible.
I will say I think Weeknd still tops out, but people were going off this Halloween. I was pretty impressed.
I love it. Yeah, I think everyone was ready to invest after kind of like last Halloween being kind of a wash.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm just very happy that everyone looked incredible. Every single person, if whoever you're thinking of right now that had a Halloween costume, they killed it. So yeah, there you go. And not only that, with this Weekly Weeknd update, we did not only just get a Halloween costume. We did not only get one song to review. We got 2 songs to review. And we're very excited to get into it, like right now.
For sure.
How about let's talk about The Weeknd and Post Malone's One Right Now. Yeah, what'd you think about this one, man?
Yeah, I think I mean I went into it a little bit skeptical. I was like Post Malone, like
Same here, yeah.
I just like I don't really listen to Post Malone, and a lot of his collaborations and stuff are usually for the radio. I mean that's definitely still the case with this song, but I still like it. I think it's a cool song. I think it has a fun bop to it. I don't think it really reinvented anything. I don't think it's the next Sunflower or whatever his song with 21 Savage was. But no, I thought it was cool. But out of all the features, probably my I wouldn't say it was my least favorite of all the features that the Weeknd is coming out and doing. But it was definitely interesting. I don't know. It really didn't really blow me away, honestly, whenever Abel does these features. I like the other one though that came out. The Rosalia one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with in terms of like the skepticalness going into it, because I was worried that because Post Malone has a good track record of hit records, obviously. But for me personally, and kind of spoiling what a bit of the next video we got coming out this weekend. I think that his music can come off as like a little generic. It can age
Yeah.
not well, especially the records that don't really have a creative direction. That, like, for example, Sunflower had a good amount of creative direction and was really fun, and I still listen to it like while I'm walking around and stuff.
Yeah.
It just feels like a vibe. Whereas a lot of his other stuff feels very paint by the numbers, manufactured type of thing. But I and yeah, my first reaction was I was a little bit kind of like not it didn't do much for me my first listen. But then as I keep listening to it, I liked it more and more, and I'm able to appreciate, like, it definitely is for me one of the better Post Malone singles. But
Mm.
that's not saying much because I'm not necessarily, similar to you, I'm not necessarily a Post Malone fan. But I did like that they went more into that electro retro
Yeah.
vibe instead of just like some sort of hip hop fusion trap thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's perfect since the dawn is coming out, and that's kind of the vibe of this whole thing. I like that all of the features we've gotten so far, besides maybe the Rosalia one. That one is a bit of a left turn, but a nice left turn. I like that they're all kind of in the same realm sonically. So first of all, one thing I want to say, not first of all, I've been talking about the song for a while now, but man, that that bridge where the Weeknd goes, you're a stain on my legacy. That is fucking insane. saying to another person, you're a stain on my legacy, probably fucked all my enemies. Ah, this song is incredible. It's like again that right amount of toxicity in the lyrics, and I think this was worth the feature. I think this was worth the collaboration. I was impressed. I get more impressed the more I listen to it, and I'm sure it's gonna top out at some point. But I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I just like
Now,
I feel like he did one of those, like, looked at a text message and then just like went into the booth for like a line like that.
right. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I again, like, for his features, like, I feel like besides the Rosalia one, I'm sure that one he like took the time to know what he was saying in Spanish. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of these are just like, what am I feeling today? I'm feeling angry. Let's put that in the music today.
Yeah.
But and we will be getting the music tonight, the music video tonight. I don't know why I put at 7 here, but we will be getting the music video tonight at some point, which is very exciting. Can't wait to see just them in a room together. Whatever I don't know if it's gonna have a story to it, all that stuff. But yeah, any last couple thoughts on one right now before we get into La Fama?
No, we can move into that one. I like this next track a little bit better. I think I just
El,
I like Rosalia
it's
more than Post
yeah.
Malone anyway.
We got the return of El Fin de Semana, by the
Right.
way. Just wanted to slip that in there. But yeah. Like, obviously, if you guys are Weekend fans, you've all heard the Often remix. What else? Starboy, Die for You. Like, they're all kind of remixed in that like Spanish
Yeah.
cha-cha, yeah, bachata style, and I love it, man. And this kind of continued that trend, man. Yeah. So, did you get a chance to listen to like the music video, or listen to the music video, to watch the music video?
I didn't see the music video, no, but I heard the song.
Yeah, there was like a lot of good like parallels to like the Save Your Tears music video, in terms of like it's Rosalia performing on a stage with like VIP people, and
Oh,
she
yeah,
brings
yeah,
out the
yeah.
Weekend, and sure enough, he gets hurt in the music video, like he always does. But I think this Rosalia collab, besides like the Blinding Lights one, which was a little whack to me, I
Yeah.
think you just can't outdo Blinding Lights, like,
Yeah.
period. It they have a pretty good track record of collabs, which actually I don't even know. Was that maybe their first one? but but yeah, no, I think who was it in the chat that just brought it up? But did you like this record more than Hawaii, the Maluma
Oh, yes.
record?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the Maluma record is probably my least favorite of like the Weekend Spanish tracks. That one mainly because it just sounds like every other
Mhm.
like song on the radio. But Rosalia brings something different to these tracks all the time, and then when it's both of them, it's a lot more interesting to see how they play off each other, and I feel like the Weekend experiments more when he's working with Rosalia. Whereas the Maluma one, I was just like, bruh, like I literally could have hopped on the track and done the same thing. Like it wasn't really anything crazy. But yeah, I like this one better than that.
Yeah, the Maluma one sounded more like it sounded like a TikTok song, and
Yeah.
I loved the Weeknd's like contribution to it. I think it really elevated the record. But yeah, this one was a little more. It stood out to me more, I think, the first listen. But I don't know. I think I have to give the La Fama a couple more listens before I
Hmm.
for sure like solidify it over Hawaii. But yeah, man, I think this was a very good single. I like that he does these Spanish records, and it seems like Cactus IRL preferred Hawaii. Yeah, man, that verse. I mean, those lyrics on his first verse when he opens the song is like really memorable to me.
Hmm.
But I have a couple questions for you regarding just the weekend in general. With all these features coming out. Remember in
Okay.
Memento Mori, he said we got a couple fun features for you coming out
Yes.
before we get this Dawn rollout going.
Yes.
And my question is, how many more features do you think we got until we start getting into like the Dawn? What's up, Gier? And also like following up on that, do you have any updates to your predictions for the Dawn album drop? I remember we were both saying like November, end of
Hmm.
November. Has that changed for you as we are in November 11th, day of our what is it, year of our Lord 2021?
True. True.
Yeah, is that any updates?
Well, honestly, I don't really think we're gonna get another feature. I think he came out with. I mean, he's done like four now, right? Since that Memento Mori, it was the Swedish House Mafia, Post Malone, Rosalia, and then
Hmm.
there was one more, right? Um, I forget.
Did you say the Posty one?
Yeah, or maybe it was three. But I feel like three, like even if it topping out, I feel like that's a good number. I think I don't know if you've specifically said how many features he has until the Dawn starts doing its thing.
Hmm.
But I really don't see a reason why he would do another. Um, at least for right now. So I think honestly, like next up is just it's time for the Dawn to start rolling out. It's time for that next single. It's time for some visuals or like a little video, 10-second teaser, something to happen to get us back onto the Dawn hype train. Because I mean,
Yeah.
he's been showing up in these features, but we all know what we really want, and so I think it's about that time. If it's gonna be, I don't really know if it's gonna be this month. Maybe it's a possibility that it could be around the holiday, like Thanksgiving, that it drops. But I don't know. It's
Mm.
pretty wishful thinking. I mean, we're already what 11 days into the month. I feel like we would be like seeing and hearing certain things right now. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm I'm aiming towards at least the end of the year. I don't think he's gonna drop next year January or anything. I'm thinking it's gonna be sometime in December. Mainly because yeah, there you go. The belly feature was the fourth feature. So yeah, he like four features like he's been doing since the Memento Mori thing. So
Right.
like it's about time. Um, but yeah, I
Mm.
don't know. I think he's gearing up for it. I don't think it's gonna be this month though. I think it's gonna be December.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we're getting kind of like it's interesting because with After Hours, he came out with, I want to say, Heartless in November-ish. I remember it was around this time. And
Yeah,
then Blinding Lights came out either Christmas or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, something like that.
that's right.
So I'm thinking maybe it's kind of like maybe this is like we're pushing everything forward in terms of like we got Take My Breath a couple months ago, and then now we're maybe gonna get a new single Thanksgiving-ish,
Yeah.
mid-November, late November, and then we'll get the album at some point in Christmas, which would be incredible. I think that would be amazing, like a new Weekend album in December. I think. Hmm. Did we get? I think Starboy
Well,
was like came out Thanksgiving, right? Uh,
now that I'm thinking back to like After Hours, I remember After Hours came out in March. And we got like Heartless and Blinding Lights at the end of the year before. And
mhm.
then leading up to it. So, you know, if he's trying to do the same like timeline, then that could potentially be when the Dawn drops. I kind of don't want that to be because that's like several months away,
Yeah.
and we've already had one single,
Yeah.
you know. So hopefully your prediction's right, where you would get like a single around Thanksgiving time, and then something, maybe the album dropping December. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But I feel
You
like there's
know?
only so much more time. You know, he's done all his features, so he's got nothing else to do but drop the album.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Guillermo brings up an interesting point. First of all, what's up, Fade Royale? Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Uh, she says Abel is starting to turn into a radio artist, if you know what I mean. And we've the last couple of records he's come out with, besides like maybe the Belly one. The Belly one wasn't too much of a radio song, but all the other ones have been kind of like mainstream records, as opposed to
Hmm.
if you look back at some of his other features, it would be like kind of more in the realm of what we know as the Weekend, that dark, grimy stuff. Like he would just bring his stuff to whatever radio artist or whatever artist he's featuring with. But yeah, it seems like he's kind of fully crossed over into, like what's that? Moth to a Flame is more of a techno house beats type song. And then you got One Right Now, which is it's still electro pop, but it's very much like radio.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it should play on the radio. And then you got the bachata stuff. Does this kind of worry you at all, or kind of, him kind of pivoting more into radio friendly kind of tone with his music?
Not really. I mean, he's been pretty commercial since the height of like Starboy. He's been really commercial. But obviously, he's proven that doesn't, it's not a detriment to the actual music, to the
Yeah.
album. Obviously with After Hours, but no, I mean, I'm not too worried. It just kind of is weird because it's just like the Weekend will drop a new song, and it's when it's with these people, I immediately am like, I don't really care that much, honestly. I mean, if it's like a crazy, I mean, I care about the Swedish House Mafia one because I was like, okay, that's gonna be cool, and I feel like that was along the realm of the
Hmm.
Dawn. But if I see the Weekend like with Ed Sheeran or something again, I'm gonna be like, okay, unless it's unless it's another Sidewalks or not Sidewalks. What is the song from Starboy with Ed Sheeran? That one's actually good. Not Starboy. Beauty Behind the Madness.
Dark Times.
Dark
Yes,
Times.
I love that record.
That was actually really good. But
Yeah.
that's besides the point. It really, when it comes to these like with these records with like radio friendly people, they don't really spark my
Yeah.
attention. Mainly because I feel like the Weeknd doesn't really try that hard. If I'm being honest,
Mm.
on these tracks, just because like all of us know, like when the Weeknd is like on, like he's doing some crazy things with his voice. He's going really just like fully encapsulating the sound he wants you to be in, but that's because it's his project, but when it comes to features, he just kind
Yeah.
of does his Weekend thing. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not really a detriment too much to at least the final product. Like I don't think because he did a song with Post Malone, the Dawn is gonna suck. I feel like they're just two completely separate things.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Gear says, Matt really just said sidewalks. Like, imagine Ed Sheeran on sidewalks. I would love to see what kind of verse he. I mean, you only have to look at what was it? Collaborations, the
Oh
hip
my
hop
god.
like
Yeah.
DJ Khaled type thing that he tried to do. I would love to see him spit a verse on the sidewalks. That'd be fire.
Take over
Also,
the Kendrick verse, just Ed
um,
Sheeran.
yeah, yeah. Say. I love. I've been watching The Voice recently, and Ed Sheeran was like a guest judge, and I was like, I was pretty impressed. I want to like him, but he just gets so much like Grammy love. It's Grammy recognition, like
Yeah.
far beyond that. It makes it unlikable. Here we got here, let's see. We got some chat messages regarding, him being a radio artist and pivoting towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Miracle says, I don't know if I'm liking him turning into a radio artist. I feel like the main reason I used to like his features was because he brought his own persona to the other artists' work. Um,
Yeah.
like some of my favorite. First of all, drop some of your favorite features from the weekend, so we can just like reminisce real quick. But um, I need to see him on a future feature
A future
real
feature.
quick because I think we're
Another
going.
one.
Yeah, we need or someone of that ilk, someone that is like grime, maybe like a Low Vert, someone
That'd be
to
cool.
ground him back to like some hip hop grimy stuff. Just because I feel like a lot of it has been, he's still being that toxic dude that we love so much, but it's been kind of under these or over these like kind of poppy, bright, upbeat
Yeah.
uh canvases, and I'd love to see him come back to that dark world that he honestly, Take My Breath, as much as it is an upbeat song, it's a pretty dark song, like
Mm-hmm.
tonally and
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So I think he needs one of those types of features. Like if he had one more feature, I would want him to be that one, you know like a little bit more of I keep saying grimy, but yeah, grimier one.
Yeah. I think that's what I liked about the Swedish House Mafia one. It wasn't too dark, but it still felt like the dawn, like something I could hear
Yeah.
off of it. Whereas like I would not on one right now would not be on the dawn. It just it's not doesn't really fit that well
Yeah.
in my opinion. But no, I agree with what Finn is saying right here. I think honestly a Dua Lipa collab would be really cool because I feel like they both could do something cool. They're kind
Mm.
of on the same wavelength right now with their music. But we'll see. We'll see who's on the Dawn if there's anyone. But yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, The Weeknd and Dua Lipa, they're two artists that brought in the renaissance of 80s type music. So I mean, it'd only
right.
be right that after all that, after the year they've had, it's kind of like let's work together. So I mean, yeah, that would be sick. That would be absolutely sick. Um, but yeah, there you go. I mean, let's see. Do we have any other things we can talk about with this weekly weekend update? I mean,
I don't know.
yeah,
I
that's kind
mean,
of it. Do
we
you
gotta we
have
gotta
anything
move
you want
on.
to bring up?
We have a lot of topics that we want to get to today, though. We want to make sure we have time.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about. Yeah. Let's keep reviewing some music things that came out last week,
For sure.
and a lot of good music, man. I'm telling you. So let's start off with one of our favorites, man. Amine
Yes,
came
sir.
out with this new album 2.5. I guess this is going to be kind of a series he does where in between the albums that we like after Limbo, then he'll come out with like point 0.5 and then a real album, or not a
Yeah.
real album, but you kind of get what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of like a more like, yeah, you get it. And not gonna lie, man, I really love this one. I think that this is like him doing like there's an alternate universe somewhere where Amine is a member of Brockhampton, and he brings this type of
Yeah.
like creativity to his music, to that group, because this album is super bright, super up tempo. I would have honestly would have loved this album in the summer, but I'm glad that I have it for this upcoming summer, just because it has such good vibes to it. I can't wait to really listen to this outside with the sun out and all that kind of stuff. And so many good records. Neo,
Yeah.
um, what's that other one? Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this album? And also, hey, peace out, Fade. Hope we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. I felt like it was kind of it reminded me of his SoundCloud days, at least with Caroline and stuff like
Mm,
that, where he first kind of came up. But a little bit more. The beats are just better. I definitely agree with you in terms of like his Brockhamptonness, like really kind of came through with this one.
mm-hmm.
Just because he's so charismatic in his flows. But I mean, some of my
Yeah.
standouts, like you said, definitely Neo. Um, Definitely. I like the last song actually. Meant to Be was really cool. Charmander, of course.
Yes.
No, it was all really
I
dope.
knew I knew this album was gonna be amazing once I heard Ricky Thompson, the very first song. If you guys remember 1.5, he comes out with if you're sad on your motherfucking birthday, uh like all that stuff. Like I love here. I was not expecting Ricky Thompson to come in at the beginning of that song, so I was like, oh, we're back and
Oh
we're
my
good.
god,
Um,
that's true.
so yeah, love this.
I was
Yeah.
like, I was like low key the opposite. I was like this dude again.
Mm,
I'm like what? Like
really? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think maybe because I'm like, because I don't know. I was just like, what is he even talking about? Like he just like says shit, and then Amina's like, yeah, and then the beat drops. I'm like, what? And I don't know. It was just, I
Yeah.
don't mind it, but I was like, oh, like he got this dude again. I don't know.
I think it was a little better the first time around on 1.5 because it like had a little bit more to do with the song. Like, you know, he was talking
Yeah.
about, oh, don't be sad on your motherfucking birthday. And then the song was like about depression and his
Right.
whole thing. I forget the name of the song. I'm about to pull it up right now just so I know. But and then this next one, it was like, oh, don't be sad, don't be depressed, don't be. And then it was like a very upbeat, bright song. So it was like, you know, that disconnect. But yeah, I don't know. This was a really good album, I think. Do you have a rating for it?
Um. Hmm. I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10. Which is not like
Okay.
bad. I would say that of all of his
Hmm.
albums, it's enjoyable. It's like I can put it on and I can bump my head to it. I would say that Limbo
Hmm.
obviously is like a much better album conceptually. But I can see how he's trying to do this, like you
Yeah.
said, that kind of pattern. And so this is definitely better than 1.5 in my opinion. I think it's his
Yeah.
sound is more refined here. But of course, on 1.5 you have some of your, like the most iconic Amine songs. Um, does he have iconic moments
Yeah.
on this one? I
Reel it
think
in.
yeah, Reel It In, Blackjack, all that, Cantu and stuff like that. But I
Doctor
feel
Whoever, by the way, was the song that
right,
I was talking about last with Ricky Thompson. Like that, I love that song.
right.
That's my favorite Amine song.
But yeah, no, I think this one I feel like he's refined his sound a little more. He's gotten away from when I think of like Shimmy or Cantu and like Reel It In. Those are his like pure, like he was still in the SoundCloud like sound, but now he's kind of like doing whatever. So it was cool. It was cool to see the evolution of him in between projects. And yeah, no, I enjoyed this album, and it'll definitely
Mhm.
those songs definitely be in the rotation.
Yeah, same here, same here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it not too far off. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think it was, you know, obviously not meant to be up there with like his best, you know, his albums, and it's not meant to be up there with some of the more expensive, higher profile
Yeah,
albums. I think this was just like a fun mixtape type thing. I think that's what the point five series is gonna be. It's just like, you know, here's some fun music for the fans kind of thing, which will be yeah, I'm enjoying it. I love Amine. He continues to do really good things, and I can't wait to see just like what that final version of Amine is gonna be. Like
mm-hmm.
he just keeps making steps, and I love it.
Definitely.
So the next artist we want to talk about, next album we want to discuss is Summer Walker's "Still Over It." Did you get a chance to listen to this one?
I did not, but
Okay.
I have been in the conversation, or I'm seeing the conversations online, um, and it seems like this is
Yeah.
an album for single people. not to
Yeah, I
not to
saw a
put
tweet
anyone
where
on
it was like, "Oh
blast.
man, yeah, put me on blast. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and take another sip real quick." But yes, this album is absolutely one that if you are in a certain mindset, in a certain place in your life, you will absolutely enjoy the fuck out of this album. Sorry to our censors out there, but yeah, this album was incredible. I think this was. I have here on our on our doc with like our outlines with everything. It says Summer Walker's album "Still Over It" is R&B greatness, and I think that also applies for her last album "Over It." And man, where do I even start? I'm not gonna go too much into it. I just first of all I implore you to check it out because it is R&B, just classic. If you love 90s, 2000s R&B going into like today's R&B, like it's incredible. It's kind of like an amalgamation of all of that. which is fun. You got Amarion on there, and also obviously yeah, Ari Lennox is on there also. And then yeah, if you kind of know the beef behind her and like London on the Beat, London on the Track, this album is even better. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to read up on that, go ahead. But yeah, this album is incredible. The great SZA feature. Did you get a chance to listen to that one?
No, I haven't. I haven't like checked out this
Oh,
album at all. So I gotta. It's next up on my queue.
yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. Well, I guess next up on your queue is the Silk Sonic album, which we'll get to in a
Oh
bit.
yes.
But yeah. Summer Walker would definitely recommend it. I saw a tweet where it was like, oh, you know, like life's been pretty good to me. I'm in a stable relationship. I am merely listening to this album for entertainment purposes only.
That'll be me.
uh, yeah. So, but I think it is an enjoyable album, regardless of if you're feeling away, if you're on your sad boy stuff. I think it's still an enjoyable album. But yeah, and then another album, another R&B, nice vibey album I want to bring up real quick. Did you get a chance to listen to Dijon's Absolutely?
I did actually. I listened to. I listened to it yesterday, I think, or day before. Um, and it was cool. I really Dijon is an artist I've kind of just discovered on my own, like recently.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
Yeah, and his other stuff, his first album, which
Skin.
yes, that album is really cool. I think that one has a lot of really really cool
Or
moments.
sorry,
I think it's I think
yeah,
it's yeah.
it's like an EP. It's like in there with like his single, or is it? I don't know. But yeah, his first single or his first album.
Yeah, which I really liked, and I think he kind of brought this really interesting and like really stripped back and kind of like distant vibe to R&B that I honestly can equate it to some tracks off of like Blonde off Frank Ocean. Thinking to
Wow.
or even like Endless, like Wither off Endless, or like Good Guy off of Blonde. Very similar vibe to Dijon's like entire sound.
High
Um,
praise.
yeah, which why when I found him, I was like, wow, this guy's really cool, and like I can get that kind of like there's like a certain emptiness to it that I kind of like. But with this new album, I thought it was really cool. I think it was a little too much of it at some times where like
Mm,
because I was listening to it with like headphones and I'm like this feels weird because
yeah.
I'm like in headphones but then it sounds like I'm like in a really empty space but I have these headphones like smashed up against my ears, so I'm like I think this needs to be played out loud, you know, like take up room in an actual space for it to the effect
Mm,
to really, you know, really sink in. But after I did that, I was like, okay, this is definitely a vibe. I feel like I could see myself just flipping it on when I'm just like home alone and kind of just vibing. Got the, you know, sunset lamp on, got the LED lights, and I'm just like laying back, just like kind of on my phone, letting it play in the
yeah.
background, and it kind of just
Mm,
transports you into a different, you know, sense of I don't know. You're just like well, it feels super different and very artsy, and I can see
yeah.
like someone doing like performance art to his music, if that makes sense. I feel like it would be in like a museum, which is why I really like his music
Oh,
in the first place. But no, and that's what I love about this album as well. I think here let me go to the track list so I can get some highlights for you.
yeah, man.
But what did you think about it?
I really like this album. I think out of all the albums that dropped last week, I think this was maybe, for me personally, I think it goes Still Over It, and then Absolutely, very razor
Mm,
thin close, and then Amine's 2.5. Not too big of a gap there, but just not as close.
yeah,
I think this was, I mean, yeah, this was a really nice, like you said, it's just a nice album to like exist and to take space in this world in. Like, I'd love
yeah,
to, if it's not too cold, I'd love to just like sit in some on some grass or something and just listen to
right.
this album. What, by the way, one segment I think we should do at some point is like albums that sound better out loud versus albums that sound
Oh,
better with like headphones.
yes, because there's definitely this is something I
Yeah,
think subconsciously all the time,
whoa,
where it's like this needs to be played out loud, or like this is something I need to play in my headphones. Like I, for some
yeah.
reason, certain albums have a different effect for me.
Mhm. Yeah. Same with like music that needs to be listened to outside, like in the a party or a club or in the car,
Yeah.
versus music that you can hear like in your house just playing around. Yeah, we'll definitely workshop that segment. But yeah, did you have any highlights on Dijon's Absolutely?
Yes. Um, Definitely. I honestly really like the opening track for some reason. I think it's like kind of fun. Well, not fun. It's all like very depressing,
Hmm.
honestly. Like his music just sounds super like dark, at least to me.
Yeah.
But I liked the dress was really cool.
Yes.
I mean, obviously many times that was a single that came out before. And then I probably would say Rodeo Clown is my
Mhm.
other highlight. But I kind of want to listen to this album again. I feel like I didn't get the full effect
Mhm.
the first time. It was kind of like I said on in the background, just like playing over my speakers. So
Yeah.
I'll try and just like pay attention more because I want to just digest it again. But yeah, those are some of my highlights.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it again, just like follow up on it. So yeah, so Dijon's album, absolutely. Also, Jose, thank you for coming through, man. Uh, do we think Baby Keem will be a GOAT one day?
Yes.
Go check out our video that is coming. Yeah, well, short answer, yes. But go check out our video coming this weekend or Monday. We Baby Keem is one of the artists that we kind of go into and discuss like what is, some good thoughts, bad thoughts. So, uh, if you want a full 2 minute long answer to it,
Yeah.
check, wait around and check out that video. Um, and with regards to like the Kanye Free Larry Hoover concert, we will probably discuss all things Kanye like maybe next week when we have less stuff to talk about just because we have a lot
Hmm.
this week. But yeah, also here I got another fun little question from Angel. Random question. Do you guys like Shawn Mendes?
Not his music, but I think he's an interesting guy.
He's an interesting guy.
I
One of
saw
my
him once
favorite
actually.
things.
That was
Yes, I
one of my
remember.
celebrity sightings. I saw him at brunch one time in West Hollywood. He was with Camilla Cabello and they were having brunch together or breakfast.
Matt was having brunch with Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello.
Yes.
Did you get
Well,
the eggs Benedict?
it was funny because I think I told you. I don't know if I told you the whole spiel of the story, but when I came into the restaurant, we were outside and I saw like their dog first. It was like a
Hmm.
big golden retriever. It's the only dog there, and we are outside. So I'm like, "Oh, dog," and I like pet it, and then I sit down, and then like I'm sitting in a way to where I'm like specifically the only way that I can look up and like is in my natural eye line is straight at Shawn Mendes, like across the quad or wherever I am, the patio. And I was like,
You're just
oh,
like staring him down.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's Shawn Mendes. And then I looked down. I'm like, wait, that was his dog? I was like, oh. I like straight up pet his dog without asking and like said hello, like not even realizing whose it was. And so like throughout the breakfast, I'm like eating. I'm trying to like shift my eyes so I'm not making him uncomfortable, look or make it seem like I'm like looking at him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But every time that I do happen to glance up, he was like already looking at me the whole time. And so I'm like we're not going to do this, bro. I'm like we're not going to
Damn.
play this game cuz I'm like you're looking at me
Eye
now.
ping
Like
pong.
yeah, I was like now I don't know what to do. And so it was kind of weird, but I have some photos of them.
Sean. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Shawn Mendes gave you the fuck me eyes.
Yeah, no, honestly, he looked like he was just kind of like spaced out. He was just like looking, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay, bro, you're looking at me.
I don't have a fun Shawn Mendes story like that, but I will say two things that I love about Shawn Mendes. First of all, I love that moment where he did you see that video of him being like I think it was the Met Gala and it was him and Camila Cabello and it's like cell phone footage and he's like he's looking at a picture of Camila and he's like, "Oh, it's giving share."
Oh my god.
And then people are like the caption is like, "Oh, this is like a nail in the coffin, in the gay coffin for him."
Never beaten
Just
the
because,
the gay allegations.
yeah, man, yeah, just because those allegations have been going on for a while now.
Allegations. There you go.
So that was just it's a video. It's Yeah, it's just something that I quote all the time. Like, oh, it's giving share, you know. Another thing I love is that there was like a Twitter post, a picture. It was like Shawn Mendes at a spin cycle class talking about global warming. I don't
Yeah, that
if
was
you
really
guys
really
saw that
random.
picture, then you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I did not
I think
understand
it
that.
came right after that too. Yeah, yeah. It was a weird. It was like in the form of a TikTok too. So it was like, what is going on here?
Everyone's like, this is not helping your case.
Yeah. Like this is not motivating me at all to spin this cycle right now.
Right.
So I guess there I don't know if that answered your question, but there you go. Those are our thoughts on Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
Back to some music reviews. Let's talk about the big one that is an artist that are dropping tonight. Let's talk about Silk Sonic.
Yes. Very excited. Very excited.
One thing I will say real quick, I'm kind of glad that we didn't do an episode last week because it would have just been us being like, single dropping tonight, like we'll see how it goes. What are you expecting? We
Yeah.
have it, and then we can actually talk about the music
Right.
itself. Smoking Out the Window. What did this song do for you in terms of your opinion on like Silk Sonic and what, I mean, and also just like what are your thoughts on the record, period? But yeah, just like all that stuff. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I really like this record actually. It's definitely really hard to follow up Leave the Door Open. But of all the singles, I mean there's only 3. This one does the best at like capturing that same moment, that same magical feeling that we all felt when we first heard that song. It's super catchy.
Yeah.
I've had the chorus or like parts of the song like stuck in my head on a loop ever since it came out. Um, I will say like now that
This bitch.
yeah, yeah, all of that. So I like the music video is super fun. Like it's just everything I'm hearing so far is really cool. And like what I'm realizing is now that because whenever I play it, it kind of plays in those 3 songs back to back all the time. And I'm like, even with just these 3 songs, like the replay value when they're all back to back, it's still pretty high. Like I can still like kind of listen to all 3 of them over and over. And I'm like, these are all really good songs. Like even Skate, it's kind of a throwaway, summer jam, but it's still a fun song. Um, but no, Smoking Out the Window, really catchy. Not as good as Leave the Door Open. I don't really know. I mean, we'll see when the album drops in a couple hours. Like if there's something that will top that. But so far, I haven't seen anything that will top Leave the Door Open. But Smoke Out the Window definitely comes close. And it's really, really catchy. And I finally, I remember in Leave the Door Open, I felt like I wanted the classic Bruno, like key switch moment. You know how he always like, towards the last bit of the song, there's like a key switch and then they have like a breakdown until the final moment of the song. That's like all of his big songs do that.
Mhm.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that in Leave the Door Open, but he did it in this song, "Smoking Out the Window." So I was like, there it is. So that was a nice little moment. But no, dope song, super catchy. Both killed it. Love the music video. It just got me more hyped for the album. So I think it did its job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as the album dropping tonight, and we're able to look back at the rollout, I think that they have successfully navigated, this interesting rollout. We talk a little bit about it in the our video coming out this weekend that I'll just keep plugging, I guess, for the rest of this
Mm-hmm.
stream. But yeah, I think they definitely they landed the plane right at the very end. I think like perfectly with this record. I think it, like you said, recaptured that magic
Mm-hmm.
that we all felt listening to Leave the Door Open the first time. And I think it was, and I love the tempo of the song. I like the uh, the message of the song. I think I mean anyone can relate to being frustrated by a significant other, and I think this record really captured the playfulness of it. Like the way he, the Bruno Mars line about, oh, why you got me beefing with a guy from the UFC.
Right, right,
I
right.
think it was just like a classic Bruno Mars. I could see them writing that line and being like, yeah, they're gonna love this one. Like that's so Anderson .Paak, so Bruno Mars. And then in the music video, you got Anderson .Paak like, I don't want to be dramatic, but I want to die. First of all, I think we all can relate to that, absolutely. But then he like falls dead on on the stage while Bruno is talking, and then he just comes back to life. Just very classic Silk Sonic. I think
Yeah.
it's they did it's just one of those songs you're like they did it again, and they again, like you said, Skate was a good song. I think if anyone came out with that song, we would be like, wow, amazing record. But just following Leave the Door Open, um kind of a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
But I think that putting Skate out and then this song was smart, because I think we'd be like, oh, they're just doing it. It would
Yeah.
sound like they were trying to recapture Leave the Door Open,
Yeah.
but Skate was like that perfect break, like a fun little break for Smoking Out the Window to be as good as it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And somehow, having only three
yeah.
songs released. I mean, the old track list though is only 9 tracks. So I mean, there's 6 songs we
Right.
haven't heard. We don't know how long those songs are, but
Five, because I think the intro, right? Is the intro still on the track list?
is it? That would be annoying. I
Ah,
didn't see.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I know that intro has been like kind of bugging me for a while now, because it's it's a good intro. It's an okay intro,
I mean,
but
they
it's
might
not
might as well
like
just
something that,
tack it on to Leave the Door Open, like just to the beginning of it. Don't make it its own track.
yeah.
You know.
I know. I agree. I agree for sure.
But okay, well then if it's only 5, then whatever. But even off these 3 tracks, we've somehow survived an entire year just off of 3 songs, and people are still hyped for the album dropping tonight, obviously, including me.
Yeah. No.
So
Mhm.
we'll see. I'm excited though. I'm hyped. We'll see where the rest of the album goes. I'm hoping there's like more of a really heartfelt ballad towards the end. That's even more magical than Leave the Door Open. But I mean, that's pretty wishful thinking. But you never
Mhm.
know. I mean, we've only heard 3 of the songs, so
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I think we're definitely gonna get that sad ballad. I think this was kind of a sad happy thing. Like it was just a nice simp song for
mm-hmm.
us, fun song. But I think we're gonna get that When I Was Your Man mixed with like whatever Anderson Paak will bring to that kind of record, like
Yeah.
the most potent version of that in this album. And speaking of the album, I mean, let's just go ahead and talk about the album as a whole. First of all, would you mind bringing up the track list for us to kind of like look through, while and then we can switch over to that whenever we get to it. But so yeah, The Evening with Silk Sonic, the album drops tonight, and we're very excited. Obviously, we've been anticipating this album forever, and also,
Mm-hmm.
who is that? Cactus? Is that you? Yes, The Weeknd and Bruno Mars should absolutely do a collab together. They're kind of like polar. They're both like representatives of Michael Jackson in a way. Like Bruno Mars is like a Jackson 5 era Michael Jackson. Meanwhile, we got The Weeknd doing like a Thriller type thing, and I think it would work so perfectly. But here we go. We got the track list here, and obviously we've gotten 4 out of the 9 songs here, and
Mm-hmm.
is the 7th song really just like that's the title?
777. I think so.
Oh, I
It's
thought.
it's
Sorry,
it's
on
pronounced
my
777. That's what it says. Wow, they have the lyrics for it. What the hell? How do you even have
what?
that?
Oh, I think maybe because it's out in Australia or
Oh,
whatever time
really?
zone is out. So let's not spoil ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
But
not. I didn't read it.
yeah, yeah. Let's not go. We're not about to do a full on breakdown of the lyrics already without having listened to the music. But what we will say is that yeah, well, imagine. But we not a lot of features. I think there was like a leak theory type thing that Bootsy Collins put out. He said that he like tagged Ariana Grande and Childish Gambino in some posts, and it was like kind of a rumor, like, oh, are they showing up? But in this track list, we just have Bootsy Collins and Thundercat. Um, and I'm sure it's great and all,
Yeah,
but
I'm excited about the Thundercat. When I saw that, I was like, "Yo, that's gonna be hot." I already
yes,
know.
Thundercat is going to be incredible. I think we both predicted that. I think we both predicted that he would show up in some capacity.
Yeah.
So exciting stuff. But do you think that these are all the features we're going to get, or do you think that Bino, Ariana Grande stuff? I also heard Beyonce could be a potential feature. Obviously,
Wow.
her took that picture with Silk Sonic. So we've gotten a lot of rumors, but there's only so much space. Do you think that we are going to occupy some of these songs with key features like that, or is this it?
I don't know. I think my gut is saying that this might not be like the final track list. Um, like
Hmm.
this is hot take, way shot in the dark, but I feel like there's got to be some
Okay.
sort of deluxe at one point because I just know that the track list was originally longer than just 9 songs, really just 8 songs, because they've been working on this song since Anderson .Paak was touring with Bruno Mars, or
Hmm.
they're working on this album, like making music together. And
Hmm.
obviously people like her have been taking, obviously taking photos with Silk Sonic in the studio. We have that Childish Gambino and Ariana Grande, kind of tease. It wasn't really an official thing, but like, why would Bootsy Collins tag them in the first place and then take it off? So I don't really think it's like a hidden feature thing right now, mainly because we have features listed, and it
Hmm.
would be kind of weird to hide certain people and show others.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like this isn't gonna be the final track list, if that makes sense. Like, we could be getting other. This is me hoping. I'm projecting that we are getting some sort of deluxe or something like that, where there's like 3 more songs added or something, and it's
Hmm.
a little bit longer. That's what I would like. But I just know that because when they originally said that it was going to be released next year, and then they scratched that and they
Yeah.
said, they're like, oh, actually, it's releasing in November. Obviously, songs got cut for them to be able to release in November. So there's a lot of songs that probably aren't on this track list that were originally, but probably just wouldn't be done in time for this November release. But I
Hmm.
don't know. I hope so. Childish Gambino, Ariana Grande, like that would be sick on Silk Sonic. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Like, yeah, the idea of a song with, Childish Gambino, Bruno Mars, and Anderson .Paak all in one song
Mm-hmm.
is like too much for me. That's too much genius on a record.
Too much.
Obviously, yeah, you got Ariana Grande. That's like three of the best voices of today,
Yeah.
on a single song. And obviously, if Beyonce ends up actually having a song on there, then that's greatness. On platinum right
Oh
there
my
on the
God.
track. Uh, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna enjoy whatever we get. I'm gonna try to not come in with like, is gonna be on this thing.
I know. I know. I know. Yeah.
And I did like what you had to say of yeah, like I think that there definitely was kind of they responded to the backlash of like, oh, this album is dropping next year. I think they definitely had like, oh shit, like we're going to, like, people don't like it. Like they do not love that decision. Let's
Yeah.
let's just drop whatever we have right now. So I think also, hold on, who is that? I
Jamie
cannot
Edwards.
see your name.
Jamie Edwards got a
Jamie Edwards.
little hot take.
Little sneak peek, hot take. Yeah, Victoria Monet posted a picture on her IG with the caption 777. So,
We'll
that could
see,
be
man.
really cool. Victoria Monet is one of my favorite artists, especially in that world of that retro 80s, 70s skating type vibe. So
Right.
she'd fit in perfectly.
It would
She'd fit
literally
in
fit
so
perfect.
seamlessly with these two.
I pray, man. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, it would if they are hidden features, that'd be weird, just because Thundercat and Bootsy are clearly listed on there as features. But I mean, it would make sense. They were like, "Oh, we still got to work on it. It's gonna come out next year," and then they just cut it short, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's dropping." So I feel like they cut. There
Mhm.
were like 5 more songs on this track list that they didn't get done in time or something, and that's where those features could come in.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't mean that they're never gonna like see the light of day or something like that. But Silk Sonic Deluxe, like that just makes sense in my mind. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see tonight,
Hmm.
literally. What the
Yeah,
vibe
that
is,
just
but
sounds. Yeah, literally 2 hours. 2 hours. We're gonna listen to an evening with Silk Sonic. Damn, Silk Sonic
crazy.
Deluxe just sounds perfect. Like I can. It sounds right.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, also another thing is that she is a notable like songwriter, so maybe
Hmm.
she just worked on the record, maybe not necessarily, or like background vocal
Yeah,
or something like that.
maybe
So
she
maybe
wrote
it's
that
not a
song.
proper feature,
Hmm.
but who knows? We'll we will definitely have a review out for you guys at some point, and we will definitely get a chance to talk about it
Yes,
and do all the our deep dive details, and it'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Can't wait for this album, man. Please go ahead, like check out our Twitters down below here, down below us. We will be absolutely tweeting our reactions
definitely.
to stuff like that. Um, but okay, so we've gotten through the fun stuff, but there was some madness that occurred this past weekend, and I think is about the time that we discuss it. So
Yeah.
we're we're let's discuss Astroworld Fest. Let's start with, like, first of all, we are fans of Travis Scott. Like, we love his music. We both went to Astroworld, the tour, Astroworld tour back in 2018. One of the craziest concerts we went to. Uh, Matt, you can discuss like your experience with that. But I think it's best we start off that we are fans of Travis Scott, but we do not we're not like worshiping him. We're not stands. Like, he fucked up in certain senses, but also I feel like some of the stuff, the backlash has been unwarranted, or just like people trying to ride that wave, that hate wave. Uh, so I definitely want to get into all that stuff, but let's start off with just like,
Just
you
what
know,
happened.
yeah, where do you want to start?
I don't really know. I mean, we haven't really said anything about, I mean, like publicly, at least from the Our Thoughts channel, about what happened with that whole
Yeah,
situation. Mainly because it's just
yeah,
so, it's like still developing. I think literally today, like there's new information about it. So like it's hard to see.
yeah.
There's some like, but I've been following it. I remember the night I realized it was happening was actually the night it happened. I came home, I was out, and we got back, and I checked my phone, and on Twitter I see eight fatalities at Astroworld Fest, and like initially I was like, oh my god, there was a shooting.
Mm,
There's something happened that I'm reading, and I was like, they like eight people died like from in the mosh pit. It wasn't even a mosh pit. It was just like a stampede of people. And I was like, well, how is that
yeah.
even possible? And then that's when the videos started coming out. And that's when I went on the Travis Scott subreddit, and people from the the concert or the festival who were there that day were saying like, this is the most fucked up thing they've ever seen. They're gonna be scarred. They can't sleep tonight. And
Mhm.
then it just developed from there. But I've been following it ever since like it was breaking news. And I will say that it definitely like messed me up for like a couple days. Um, it was something that I didn't think. It was like, I don't know. It's not like I didn't want to say that. Oh, I didn't think would happen, but like honestly, I'm not. I wasn't too surprised that it would get to that point.
Mhm.
I think when we look back to when we were at Travis Scott concert, every time I bring up the fact that I was, Mason Goldberg. Thank you very
Hey,
much, Mason Goldberg, for your donation. Let me see what it says.
yeah.
Um,
Here we go. What's
it's
up,
a
boys? Been a sec. Been busy with grad school. Here's for you. J Dot, stay off my leaderboard. Rest in peace, Astroworld. Thank you so much
Thank you so
again.
much.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
back on top,
definitely,
man. Back on top.
definitely,
Welcome back.
yeah, definitely rest in peace. But yeah, whenever I bring up the fact that like, yeah, like, oh, I went to the Astro World tour, and I always say like, I think that was the first concert I thought I was gonna die at,
Mm,
and I said that kind of as a joke,
yeah.
but I really was like pretty afraid. Like, it was the most, even at that concert, it was pretty packed. I mean, we were there, you and I were there. We lost each other a couple times, and I was definitely like, yo, like, this is a little
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and like, just it was it was to the max, even at the concerts. And so when I saw that this happened at a festival, I was like, oh shit, like, I think it's gone too far. um
Yeah.
and there was a lot, that I've learned over the past couple days about it. Well, I think the main things to take away are, one, how unprepared the staff was, mainly the security, the medical team, and just the security and the medical team. They were extremely unprepared. There was one guy who was on the news today, or maybe it was yesterday.
I was uh-huh.
What are you saying?
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a guy
No,
who was on the news today. He was a security guard at ASTROWORLD Festival, and he was saying that they basically they didn't take his ID, they didn't take his. I mean, they had his name because he was on the schedule, but he didn't give any sort of information about like anything that a usual employer would ask for.
Yeah.
And he said that he, even for payment, they were just gonna cash app him, and I'm like, okay, so like all this is really under the table. Not only that, the facilities at AstroWorld Festival were very lacking. I was reading on the Reddit people who were there saying that there were only 2 water stations for 100,000 people, and they said the lines were just so long it wasn't even worth it, so they just had to buy overpriced water bottles, which is just just gross, like business wise
Scam.
yeah. And so people were dehydrated, people were probably taking a lot of drugs, and then you get to the actual Travis Scott set, and that's when I think people are kind of missing. That's when a lot of the misinformation and, like you said, the bandwagoning, the unnecessary just hate that went towards certain people. Off the bat, Travis Scott is responsible for what happened. This is his show. This is his name plastered all over the place, and there's evidence that he was told this situation was going to happen. And not only that, the crowd who was there, you probably all saw, people were storming through the gates. They were breaking down the metal detectors. The security just they couldn't do anything. So like hundreds and hundreds of people who didn't have tickets were flooding in, meaning that they weren't one, supposed to be there, so they were going to be maxed out at capacity, and two, they weren't being checked. So people could have brought in a gun. People could have brought in a bomb. Like literally, you don't know. So off the bat, that was already bad. And then the
Very sketchy.
Yeah, and then the videos. There were people fighting. There were people on both sides of the barricade throwing shit at each other. It was just a madhouse. Like the vibes were definitely off from the beginning. And then I mean, obviously once the set started, people were just compressing and compressing and compressing, and it just could have been avoided. And it's just really hard to see. Just the videos are just like what scarred me the most, because literally being trampled to death, like that's like the worst way to die. Like after seeing this video, I was like, this is my worst nightmare. Mason Goldberg was saying, not only was Travis responsible because it's his festival, but we all know Travis Scott, like he has songs about, like, listen to No Bystanders. That's never gonna sound the same again. Yeah. Like he encourages like people to jump from the rafters and break people in. Like he
got arrested after one concert for inciting a riot.
Yeah.
So this is right after the concert.
This has happened before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually had a tweet, I think a couple days, or actually a little while before the Astroworld Festival happened, saying that, and just so y'all know, we're gonna sneak the real ragers in, basically encouraging people to sneak in and break through. Just inciting, perpetuating this like rager mentality, like whatever it is. And so already the fans are hyped up on that, and it just got pushed way too far. And the staff didn't care. You could see there are videos of people saying like, stop the show, and they're so loud, you're like, how does Travis not hear them? I mean, you don't know what Travis hears and what he doesn't hear. He's on a platform high up in the sky. He's got earplugs in, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just like really unfortunate. I think the death count is up to 9 now officially. Um, and one of those who were injured was like a 10-year-old kid. Um,
Yeah. Wow.
like it was all bad. There was just so many people at fault that it's really hard to point fingers, but I think right now it's definitely Live Nation who's the company that put on this whole event, and Travis, who are really the ones that are
Mm-hmm.
definitely at fault because of Live Nation was in charge of staffing, the putting facilities on the grounds, giving medical people like the equipment they need. I read this really long eyewitness of a girl who is like a nurse, um, helping people, bringing dead bodies like out of the crowd, and like asking like, do you have this? Do you have
Wow.
this? Like they need this, and the medical team, like they didn't have anything. And there weren't enough of them. It's like when you need
Mm-hmm.
to do CPR on someone, you need at least 2 people because you're gonna get tired and you can't stop. And so like they just, it was all bad. It was all bad. I think this is just like everything that could have gone bad went bad, and it could have been just so avoidable if they didn't cheap out on all these things. If they didn't cheap out on the facilities, if they didn't cheap out on the staff, if they didn't try and cut corners and make as much money as possible from this festival, then people wouldn't have died. But I think at the end of the day, that's really like the main thing is that people kept saying that this was such a cash grab, that this was such like it was just for profit, to where they didn't want to spend the extra money on people's safety. And then this is what happens. So, yeah, I think it's a really complicated and long-winded, you know, answer. I mean, you didn't ask a question, but just like my thoughts on it. It was just like, yeah, for
Yeah.
the first like maybe 3 days after, I was just really torn up. I was like, bro, like this is just awful. And I think
Yeah.
Travis needs to respond in a much better way. Um, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah. It is very tough. It's very tough to see one of, an artist that you love listening to music. They got you through a specific time or whatever. And then something like this happens where it's always in the back of your mind, of like this could happen. He has that image of being, yeah, like you said, a rager. Let's fuck shit up. Let's. He's the modern day rock star, is like kind of what he's trying to paint himself as, and that's another discussion I want to have. Is like again going on that topic of, bandwagoning and all that stuff. But, we like punk and metal and all that, rock. That genre has had moments like this, and not to like say like, oh, we shouldn't be hating on Travis as much as we do, because some of it is warranted, but I think a lot of it is because, let's be honest here, he's a black artist. Hip hop is a black genre, and they kind of want to associate it with that image of like, oh, it's ratchet and all that stuff. When like punk and metal and all that, like AC/DC, they've all had moments where they're inciting riots and all that stuff, and stuff has gone south there. uh However, yes, there's a good amount of here that is Travis Scott's fault. I want to talk about something later on, but I think another aspect that I do want to bring up, it is definitely, there is a big part of it that is Travis Scott's fault. There's a big part of it that is Live Nation. Also, I think a lot of people just were not ready to be outside with that many people. And I think that, like, for example, you have to look at like sports. When the NBA came back and had crowds there were instances of people fighting in the crowds, spitting on players, calling them racist names, and obviously like that stuff has been ingrained in their personalities or whatever. But it came out because we're not used to being outside and being that stimulated
Yeah,
around people. So when you see footage of, and it's tough footage, man, of people thrashing like the ambulance cart, like it's literally, it's not even like an ambulance van like we usually see. It's like a little golf cart with a little siren
yeah,
and like the lights at the top. Like it's barely anything that could protect the people with medical experience to help those people. and they're like on top of it. They're screaming the lyrics of the song, and they're acting as if it's part of the set, a prop on the in the set. Meanwhile, they're actually trying to get to help people that are, dead or passed out, unconscious. It's tough to see, and it's tough to watch. And I just think that having a festival this, like, we are still in the pandemic. As much as we like to kind of trick ourselves that things are going back to normal, we are
Hmm.
still very much in the midst of a pandemic, and it's gotten better, gotten worse, and then gotten better again, then got worse, and then now we're at a place where it's like, where are we,
Right.
so I think that's another aspect that needs to be brought into, like, we need to also hold the crowd accountable, and obviously they're there to have a good time, but we also got to remember, like, we're still human beings and all that stuff. um and yeah, I mean, it's all just, it's just a very, it's and also, like, one thing I want to discuss is the aftermath of it. Is, obviously we have the Travis Scott apology, which has been memed to hell, and is just a very rough look. Basically, if you haven't seen it, he's basically just high as shit, rubbing his head and trying to, like, and also there's like a notes app apology which did not contain an apology. It was just like, crazy, I did not expect this to happen, love you guys. And that was basically the same sentiment in the video.
Hmm.
And then so that was like our first initial kind of response to this event from Travis Scott. And obviously people weren't too much of a fan of it, because it did not address anything. It didn't do, um I don't know, it didn't do much regarding, like, actually affecting the people that we've lost, unfortunately, or the people that this has affected. And then we get, the cover up. Obviously, after the backlash, you gotta do some damage control. And he came out and said, like, oh, we are helping cover funeral costs, because prior to that point, they were doing like GoFundMe pages to cover up funeral costs, which is insane. Someone, a family member you allow to go to this festival, they end up losing their life, and then now you have to cover their expenses. Like, that's insane to me. And then, so he ended up covering up those costs, I think. And then he offered anyone affected by the Astroworld Festival like 1 free month of online therapy, if you use promo code it's lit,
Right.
for a free month of online therapy. Like, it's just, it's so whack. It's so
Yeah. Yeah.
like people like to condemn, like, the use of, like, a publicist. We love authenticity. We love artists, like that direct contact with an artist. But in instances like these, you really do need a PR team and, like, management, a strong management team to uh that knows how to handle these kind of, like, crises, uh to, handle it the best way possible, because now you're in this shithole of a fucking situation where now this affects your money, like, long term. Now you won't be able to probably have as much leverage and free reign to do some of this cool stuff that, he likes to do, making it to the point where he can bring a fan up on stage, or, making it so, physical and so intimate and all that stuff at his concerts. So, you know and also, I don't know, is there anything you want to discuss about just, like, the aftermath of it, the apologies, the backlash, any of that stuff you want
Yeah.
to
I
bring up?
I think I mean, at least in terms of like the apology and like the video,
Mm.
Travis definitely couldn't really say anything at the time. It was still being investigated. He couldn't say I'm
It's an
sorry.
ongoing investigation. Yeah,
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 yeah. He can say I'm sorry this happened, because then he would
yeah.
be admitting fault and like all this dumb legal bullshit. But
Right.
I think what I think needs to happen is he needs to start changing his ways, not offering free therapy because you were traumatized of being at his concert, not paying for funerals of kids that died at his show, but rather he needs to change how he approaches his community, his fans, the way he is approaching these live events, because this rager jumping from the nosebleeds, it's not a mosh pit with no injuries mentality is it's he can never go back there. And I think he needs to realize that, because that's honestly like his whole persona is like Rage Against the Machine type thing. And similar to what Mason Goldberg just said, he says, for me, if Travis legitimately changes his concerts going forward to prevent this, I think he just needs to change the type of environment that his concert goers are stepping into. I feel like it's just gone way too far. Yeah. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things. And I think what you brought up in terms of people not being used to being outside, like around all these people being too hyped up, you know, it's like it just was a recipe for disaster. And so I think what Travis needs to do is make some sort of strides to change the way that his whole persona, basically. I think he needs to realize his actions have consequences now, because obviously in the past he's gotten away with a lot. He's gotten away with verbally abusing some dude on a stage. He's gotten away with spitting on a fan for stealing his shoes. He's gotten away with being arrested for inciting a riot, you know, and he even got away with, I think some people started bringing up the way that he treats his own people. You know, he left one of his his engineers or something, or former manager, like he was having a seizure. He left him in the studio or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane. And then he said like, it was something like that where he seizes up a lot, and he said like, oh, Travis came up to him one time and said like, yo, can you stop doing that or whatever, or like, can you just not do that? It's like, that was one of those stories that came out that I was really like, okay, yeah, this is like not necessarily out of his character at all. And but yeah, sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no, I don't think Travis is the spawn of the devil, like some of these TikTok conspiracy dumbass videos have been pulling up. I don't think
I want to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's like an evil person. I think he's gone way too far. He's been surrounded by a lot of yes men, and he hasn't been held accountable for anything. And so when you think you're invincible, you just like do whatever, and then if you don't want that energy around you, you're just like, ew, don't bring your seizures around me. Like, I don't want to think about people getting hurt, because that doesn't exist in my head, people having consequences. And so I think what Travis needs to do right now is lay low. I think Travis needs to like look internally for a moment and start thinking, is it time to like kind of grow up and like get a grip and have a sense of reality when it comes to just his whole persona as an artist? Because like at the end of the day, it's about the music, you know. It's not about like raging so hard that you have kids getting nosebleeds and breaking their arms, you know. Like that's not what it's about. That doesn't mean that it's good music, you know. And so I think in terms of like where Travis goes next is going to be really crucial for his whole career at this point. I don't think, like, the whole world hates Travis Scott right now, and it's kind of crazy to see that, you know, us being very avid, very vocal Travis Scott fans. I'm pretty torn about it. I'm just like, damn, this sucks. Like, someone I really enjoy listening to turned out to be a bad person, you know, like at the end of the day, and not, you know, that's not saying he's evil. He just turned into something that he probably didn't realize he was turning into. And so it's just really, it's a really unfortunate situation all around, but I think Travis just needs to change his ways and start being more responsible as an artist. What was really cool was that because this is concert festival season right now, at the like Playboi Carti concert that's also happening right now, they started like taking this shit super serious. They had announcers saying like, if you guys keep pushing up, if you guys keep jumping over banisters and hopping sections, this concert will not happen, because that's what's going to happen is people get into dangerous situations when you don't follow the rules. And so I think this is going to change the landscape of all concerts and festivals going forward, which is a good thing, because that's why I don't want to go to these festivals, is because of this thing. It's like, I don't imagine being in a sea of people You know, like that's not what I want to do.
Mm,
And so I think it's
mm.
just everything's going to change from here on out, and I hope that includes Travis Scott also changing. So we'll see. You can talk
Yeah.
about your satanic TikTok conspiracies now.
Yeah. No, yeah, first of all, yeah, along that same note, I know it's like this is like the norm or whatever, but don't take drugs and drinks from strangers at festivals. I know it's like super easy like that. Like I was talking with one of my buddies the other day who goes to a lot of like raves, a lot of festivals, and I know it's like as easy as just like, yo, you got something for me, and
Yeah,
then that's it.
yeah,
Like literally that's as easy as it goes. But I strongly suggest you guys don't do that just because you never know what's in it, and then also you got people, yeah, you just never know what you might be consuming. So if there's something to take away from this, if I get on my pedestal or whatever and on my what is it, on my podium, and say something about it, don't do that. um
yeah,
but yes, so a lot of the things, some things that we've been alluding to, there's been a lot of like, bandwagoning, a lot of conspiracy theories that occur regarding whenever something as tragic as this happens. Like it happened with Kobe passing, and it happened with, I don't know what, any other tragedy you can think of. There's always some stupid person that's out there trying to make it something that it is, like trying to connect the Illuminati, trying to connect da 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 da. But in this instance, we've been getting a lot of chatter regarding like, oh, this was a satanic ritual that Travis Scott performed in order to sacrifice, and those 8 people that, or 9, I guess now, people that passed were sacrifices to the devil. Like, prior to it being like 9 people, one of their main theories was like, oh, there was like 8 pyrotechnic units creating, 8 pieces of fire behind them, therefore. And then you see like it's like 2 hills or whatever, like the whole set design of Astroworld Fest. 2 hills, very ominous imagery from the Bible or whatever. And then you got let's look at the intro video. Like, you remember the intro video for Astroworld, uh the tour? Like, it was very, like, the imagery was very dark and edgy and all that stuff. Again, I use this word uh not as accusing it of it, but demonic type imagery. And I will say, like, I like to approach these things with an open mind. So maybe, of course, maybe possibly there is a possibility of Travis Scott being satanic and all that stuff. But you also have to accept the more likely outcome, which is, it's not, this was all an accident. This all was because of this was all just a move for money. I remember reading that the manager, apparently they had agreed that, look, these people are passing out, but we got to keep the show going because of money. And I think we got to talk about just like how big of a factor that plays. Like, we think of and we've gotten, and I want to stretch this discussion out to just music in general. And I've seen comments like this on our weekend videos. It's like, oh, is this satanic imagery? Is this devil stuff? And I think one thing I want to say about it is just that whenever that stuff is happening, you see like Lil Uzi Vert talking about, all of us are going to hell for singing EXO Tour Life. You got, XXX Tentacion, like kneeling in his double XL freestyle and saying some, very edgy, weird stuff that could be satanic. You got The Weeknd with like his upside down cross in like the Party Monster music video. And then obviously, there's, just look through all our weekend videos and you'll see theories of like, oh, this music is about the devil. um let's pull the veil back. That's all because of money. It's cool. That's what's cool nowadays, is edgy stuff that seems like it's, from hell, or because like we've had that time of bright pop music, but now it's all about, like, we all, like, some of us, or all of us, kind of appeal to, in some way, to some sort of darkness, and that kind of like, oh, is it possibly maybe satanic stuff? But it's all because of money, and it's what sells. And in the case of Travis Scott, all those videos, all those dark imagery and all that stuff, it's all because it's cool and it fits in. Like, literally, he has The Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight music or album cover is him with demon wings, you know, standing in front. Is super dark, and people weren't accusing it of being demonic then. So why is it now that we're going ahead and with this narrative of like this was a satanic ritual? And so again, just to like dispel like some of um these weird theories that come out. No, I do not think that this is some sort of satanic thing. Obviously, there's that possibility, but more likely scenario is no, it's not. This is all because of money. These mistakes were because of money. All That's where you can point a lot of these weird instances, or not weird, sorry, but like um, instances where things don't make sense.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because of the money that comes along with it. Do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think just because people are less religious now. It's the industries are becoming more secular, whereas obviously it was very heavily influenced by like Christianity or like Judaism and stuff like that. Because people are less
Mm,
religious now, they feel more inclined to tap into those like more taboo subjects like
true.
Satanism, or like have more like satanic imagery. I mean, look at Lil Nas. Like he came out with that whole like Montero music video where he goes to hell, and then he sold the Satan 97s or whatever that he got sued by Nike over. And it's mainly
Mm,
just because kids think it's cool. That's literally what you said. It's just like it's no longer cool to be religious. It's cool to be anti-religion. And so now it's like that's what's selling, that's what's cool, and it makes for interesting visuals. That's pretty much it. I don't really think people are
yeah.
actually subscribing to the like whole idea of like the satanic church or something when they have a cross in the back of their music video. Um, but I think that's just where that comes from. And yeah, and then, like you said, end of the day, it's about money. Um, and that's where money lies, is things that are cool. And what our generation thinks is cool right now is stuff that's really dark and ominous and satanic. But again, it's like it's just kind of a moot point right now to me, because I'm like, that's not what this whole thing is about. Like I
Yeah.
don't. It's just people trying to hop on a bandwagon, find another reason to hate Travis Scott, and now in like in an ungodly way. It's like as if this dude was a God fearing
Mm,
man to begin with. Like at no point did he ever say where he stood on religion. So I think it just like makes
right.
no sense why to like start accusing him of going against one now. Um, but yeah, no. I mean, this always happens. This always happens when there's a tragedy that goes worldwide. Some dude's like, "Oh, it's the devil." And it's like, okay, bro.
Mm.
Like, the devil isn't
Oh,
real.
look at
Like,
the date when it happened, and
yeah,
then if you add these two numbers, and then
yeah,
it all equates to this. Which, if you
literally,
look into
yeah,
the Bible, this verse number, it's all just yeah. So if anyone's out there, like, kind of, because I know people that have been like kind of freaking out about it, about like,
yeah,
oh, what if this artist that I love so much, their music, like, are they is he actually been like feeding me satanic stuff? Um, mm, Again, disclaimer, maybe, like, I always come in with an open mind and like maybe possibly, but the only one who truly knows that is Travis Scott. And from what we can see, from whether it be his apology, his response to them, he is not that guy. He has no idea what's happening. He is as confused and dumbfounded as maybe less so because he sees like the behind the scenes stuff, but he
yeah.
is as surprised as us that this all happened. So to anyone who is like worrying about that, I hope that kind of helped ease some stuff, and hopefully like with any content that comes in the future, like with the satanic stuff, I know I've had to respond to a couple of those stuff. Yeah, no, it's all because of money. It's all just because of it's what sells. Unfortunately, like that's what keeps the world going around. um yeah, I don't know, man. So is do we want to put a ribbon on this Travis Scott stuff, or do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, no, I think we've definitely talked about it enough. Again, it's still developing, so if
Mm.
anything new we find out in the next week or so, we'll bring it up again, and we'll keep you guys informed on what our thoughts are. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, just
Yeah.
keep those who lost their lives just in your, in your thoughts, just like realizing who are the real victims of this whole situation. It's not Travis's career, it's those kids and their families. So I think that at the end of the day, like, just realize that this was a lot of people's fault and it was so avoidable, and that's what makes it so tragic. um and yeah, I don't know, just be a good person. don't don't be an asshole at a
Yeah.
concert, because this can happen. So yeah, just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, as they say. But yeah, no, it's just really sad, and I just think we just had to talk about it, just because we're very open about being fans of Travis Scott. That I feel like it was necessary for us to give our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys letting your your thoughts in the comments and stuff like that, and on the situation. I feel like we all are kind of on the same page about this whole thing. But if you guys want to talk about it more, obviously, as always, our handles are here. Just like let us know, and
Hmm.
definitely open to talking about it. Or if you're, I don't know, scarred by some videos or something, just you can vent. But yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy situation that happened, and I feel like we just had to bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Matt said, we're definitely going to update. Like if any developments occur with this investigation, we will be keeping you guys up to date on that. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't really want to end on that kind of
No,
sour of a note. So let's
thankfully we have one more
discuss
thing.
one thing and then we'll call it a night. Yeah, we'll discuss one thing. We'll call it a night, and we'll enjoy the Silk Sonic album, also the Taylor
Yes.
Swift Red album. If you're into that, if you're anticipating that, I'm sure that's gonna deliver. But we got and also real quick before we get into this topic, I know people would probably want us to discuss the Kanye West stuff, the Kanye West interviews and all that.
Yes.
We will discuss that next week. There's just so much to discuss, and to be honest, I'll be very honest with you guys. Um, that interview was a lot, and I kind of had to like it's kind of drained me because I was kind of keeping track of all of Ye's points, and then as the Henny started to hit, it was like I am starting to lose him, so I just kind of put it on the back burner for a bit, and I'm gonna finish it, and then we can discuss it next week. But what we do want to discuss, and that we implore you to check out, is this Kid Cudi documentary titled "A Man Named Scott." It's on Amazon Prime Video. If you guys have that, it's free if you have that. If you have a Prime account. And I think you recommended this to me. You suggested to me. And I guess yeah, you can start off. It's just like, what did you think about it? You know, all the cool interviews and testimonies and all that. Like, what were some of the stuff that stood out to you?
I think the main things that really stood out to me were Kid Cudi's relationships that he had with all these different people. You know, whether it was Shia LaBeouf, or it was like Timothy Chalamet, or like even his older his producers and engineers and stuff like that. I feel like it was all really really cool to see how what they thought about Kid Cudi. And like, everybody talks about, oh, Kid Cudi, he changed rap. He changed everything about the music industry. People started rapping about their feelings for the first time because of him, and I'm like, yeah. But then when you get into the interviews and like the firsthand, experiences about all these people, I'm like, oh, like this is how, like, people were like saying like Kid Cudi is the soundtrack of my life. It was like all these thoughts I had, I didn't know how to verbalize, and all of a sudden these songs were saying what I was feeling. I was like, damn. So like this is really how Kid Cudi changed the music industry. So it was really really cool. I think overall the like style of the documentary was really cool. I really enjoyed some of the like
Mm-hmm.
visuals they put in to like represent some of his darker moments. And the fact they had like performance art pieces to like represent and like dedicated for some of the songs. One of them was performed by Jaden Smith. Um, it was really really cool, and I
Yeah.
think it gave me a different perspective on his um, newer music, because what really really hit me the most was that like Kids See Ghosts is completely different. Like it means something completely different to me now. Mainly because Kid Cudi, like right before, was, he was in rehab, and then he got out and he was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with music. I don't want to do anything anymore. I have nothing left. Until Kanye came along, and he was like, yo, you're not done. I have this project that I want you to do with me. And he basically said that Kanye saved him. And he was like, damn, I guess I really had a little bit left in me. And he made one of the greatest, short EPs that Kanye has ever produced. Like Kids See Ghosts is definitely a different vibe now. It sounds like he's like seen the light, the light at the end of the tunnel, and now he keeps saying throughout the whole album that he's free, that he's free. There's even a song called that,
Yeah.
and so like, um, it was just really cool to see it all come together and learn about Kid Cudi, his experiences and his dark moments and stuff like that. But yeah, really, really, really cool documentary. Definitely check it out, and let us know your thoughts. But yeah, what did you think of it? Because I was excited to hear your thoughts.
Ah, oh, dude, this was really fun. This was such a fun documentary. Curry, first of all, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for
Oh,
coming through it.
he made it.
We're kind of this is like our last topic, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But hey, man, thank you for coming through. This was a pretty fun, packed episode, so I definitely go check this out.
Yeah,
Watch it back. But so yeah, the documentary, Kid Cudi documentary, A Man Named Scott. So yeah, similar to you, this definitely kind of reshaped my perspective on, the Man on the Moon series, on just Kid Cudi in general, on yeah, Kids See Ghosts, Speed and Bullets to Heaven, that kind of stuff. Like it all puts it in perspective because for me personally, I try my best to listen to older music with like the proper context and understand like why
yeah,
does this music sound like this, kind of thing. Like the 50 Cent G Unit era, like that's
right.
its whole thing, and then you got Snoop Dogg and the West Coast G Funk type thing. Like you when you listen to those different like subgenres of hip hop or just music in general, you kind of have to do a little bit of homework or kind of like understanding to understand like why is this it?
Yeah,
And I'll be honest with the Men on the Moon stuff. Like obviously I was around for day and night. I heard Pursuit of Happiness, but I wasn't really into music like that. So I didn't really get to listen to the Man on the Moon series as it was coming out and appreciate it the
yeah,
way these people do. Like you hear people like, it got me through high school. It got me through a dark time. It made me like, I was feeling lowest you could possibly be, and it helped me get through that. Now I'm happy as I could be. Um, so this album absolutely kind of, now I'm able to go back to those Man of the Moon series and albums, and I'm about to go check it out tomorrow sometime when I have enough time to and listen back. And now that I have the context for like soundtrack to my life and
yeah,
like the way that he works, like that's another thing I really liked, was you really get to see um like he's such a master and a maestro in his own sense. He's able to make these, like they said, like, oh, we wouldn't, I wouldn't play him or pitch him beats. We would just be watching stuff or listening to other people's music and be like, oh, that's a cool sound, let's do something with that.
mm-hmm.
And I'm sure maybe there are artists like that before. We have Jay-Z, rapping off the top of his head, like not writing stuff. But when you watch a master like Kid Cudi, who's able to express like his depression and stuff like that, which you know there's a lot of love for Kid Cudi going on, and maybe some of it is a bit much, but one instance where it's absolutely true, him and DMX were the first people to make rap vulnerable, to make it cool that you're not cool or
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
not tough, not alpha,
yeah,
not confrontational and all that stuff. We have Pursuit of Happiness and Day and Night, like those two songs, those two radio hit songs that were about, drunk driving, about being reckless, about not knowing your true self and all that stuff. That's so cool to me. I'm so happy that he was able to make that like kind of a big thing. So yeah, no, I again, similar to what Matt was saying, uh, the visuals were amazing. I love, like, like Kid Cudi would be getting interviewed and then you'd see like another Kid Cudi in the background just chilling.
yeah,
Like I don't know, there's just such cool images. It felt like a stream of consciousness
mm-hmm.
as you were getting fed this information. So it kind of helped, reaffirm that info or help contextualize it in a way that kind of just makes sense.
Yeah,
And yeah, uh I remember when you told me like, oh, I was surprised at how a lot of a lot of these interviews. My first thought was like, oh, Kanye is definitely in here, and yeah, sure enough, like Kanye was in there, and uh, just the way he speaks about Cudi, it comes from such a place of like admiration and
Yeah.
respect that you rarely get to see from Kanye. And I would absolutely, I guess implore is the word of the day for me. Implore everyone to watch this show because, or this documentary, because um, you're really witnessing someone who changed hip hop for the better.
Yeah. And it's crazy because he like didn't mean, not like he didn't mean to do it, but like that wasn't what he was trying to do. It was like he was just talking and rapping and singing about shit that was happening to him right then and there. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Let me make it sound like this. Let me make it sound different because I don't want it. I want it to stand out. I want to be different." And that ended up opening up a
Yeah.
whole new avenue for the rap game. But I think what was really interesting was that there would be moments where his own engineer or his producer was like, I don't like that song because it's too real. Like that's not just a song. Like that was a really dark
Mm.
moment in his life that we all went through together with him, and we don't want to relive that. And so I was like, damn, like that's how you know that like really like he was putting it all out in his music. And so, and I think the most impactful part about it was that when they would talk to the like psychiatrist or something like that, the interviewer, when they would interview the psychiatrist and say that, what are you, there's a certain amount of pressure when someone who puts it all out on the line and says, I'm feeling these dark thoughts, I'm feeling these things that everybody's feeling but nobody's talking about, and everyone's saying like, oh my god, you saved my life. Now it's like you feel like you have these people's lives in your hands and you're still going through these dark thoughts. It's not like they never stopped. And so now it's
Yeah.
like, what do I do now? Now it's even worse. So it was just really
Yeah.
interesting to see. And they talked a lot about just being an artist and like what that means and it like to like the truest sense. And yeah, really, really cool documentary. I think there were some interviews that I feel like didn't need to be there. Like Schoolboy Q, like didn't say anything. That was my favorite part. He was just like, Kid Cudi, man, crazy, and then it would like cut, and I'm like, what was the like,
Yo.
what was the point of that interview? you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
like just like I think what happened was Kid Cudi just had all his friends come sit down. And they're like, oh, just say some cool things, and like he just want to include all of them. But I was like, that was a little meaningless.
Yeah, I like to imagine he was like right by the camera, just like
Yeah,
right behind him, just saying like, "Yo, say something about this. Like, say something about you know, expanding people's mind, being an artist and all that stuff, and
yeah,
trying to change the music lines or all that stuff." So yeah, there's definitely a lot of the. Yeah, there is if there's another reason to watch this documentary, it's just to be like, "Oh, look, is that person? Oh, is that
yeah.
person?"
So
Cool
many,
cameos.
so many celebrities. So it was cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
go watch it. Amazon Prime. It's really cool to see Kid Cudi's come up. And right after, I just listened to Man on the Moon, The End of
Mm.
Days, and I was like, damn, I can see where Travis Scott gets his influence because the way that album is structured is exactly like Rodeo. If you listen to it tomorrow, like you'll know what I'm talking about.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind for sure. Yeah, definitely. A man named Scott again. Go check that out. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're wrapping up here. This was a
definitely.
really I'm going to drink a cup of tea
Yeah,
right after the stream.
I'm almost out of
Uh
booch.
yeah, man. You got to get some more booch juice. But man, thank you everyone for coming through. I think we this was not too much. We had our fun, but then it became not so fun, and then it got a little bit fun towards the end. But this was a nice kickoff, I think, for our thoughts holidays. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, whether it be about music, whether it be about stuff surrounding music like this. I think this is gonna be a very action-packed last couple of weeks here for 2021, and because there's not enough weeks left, and we're gonna get some really good albums and singles coming out soon. Like, where's Kendrick at?
Right.
You know?
Where's his at? Right. I don't
Where's
know.
this at, man? I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. What I'm looking forward to is this year's. Well, I'm looking forward to two things:
Hmm.
my Spotify Wrapped, and then the Our Thoughts Awards, because this is going to be a really really tough year. I already know. I feel like I already have to start thinking about it because there was a lot
Hmm.
that happened musically this year. Um, but man,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, we are looking forward to those two things, but you guys will have a lot to look forward to from this channel. Who is it? Farhan. Uh, yeah, man, it's good to have you here, and we would love to have you here for a bunch of the other videos that we got planned in the works. Obviously, we said early on we have a video coming out this weekend or Monday, depending on when it gets out. Good thought, bad thought. We're gonna run through a couple artists and discuss like what we like about them, what we don't like about them. Even the weekend, we have some stuff that we wanted to get off about the weekend that we didn't like necessarily. And then we also have obviously the Silk Sonic review coming out whenever it'll come
Yes,
out.
Silk Sonic tonight.
Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely. We will all be listening to that. And also we have something that is in the works, something that we are working on that we are very excited to eventually put out and hopefully
Our most
satisfy a lot of you
highly requested
guys.
video. Our most highly requested video. That's all I'll say.
It's kind it's kind of crazy that we have something like that,
Yeah.
first of all. But yeah, we're very excited. It's gonna be worth your worth the buck, worth the wait.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know, man. Just a lot to look forward to. Our Thoughts holidays. It's gonna be even better than Our Thoughts autumn. It's gonna be better than Our Thoughts summer.
Yes, sir.
Uh, we're about to go on a little bit of a run here right before the Our Thoughts awards. So I don't know, man. A lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to. Thank you guys all for coming through. Um, yeah, Matt, go ahead and
All
send
right.
us home.
Well, send us home. Thank you so much. If you're tuning in right now, once this stream is over, you can go back and watch it all. We talked about a lot of really cool things. If this is your first time on stream, thank you for coming through. If you're a regular, always thank you again. Thank you if you donated around this time around. Again, hit us up on all the socials. Our Thoughts Podcast on everything. Or if you want to get to us personally, our ats are down there. But yeah, appreciate you guys. This was a great stream. Our Thoughts Holidays is here and here to stay for the time being. I'm excited. There's so much to look forward to. New video dropping this weekend or Monday. Stay tuned for that. Keep your post notifications on. Comment on what you're looking forward to for the Our Thoughts Holidays season.
It's the most wonderful time
Yes.
of the year.
I know. I can't. I
It's
need to get
go
my.
time,
I need to
baby.
get my Santa hat instead of the daddy hat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what? Funny that you say that. Maybe we might need to yeah, just interesting note. We'll
Okay.
come back to that.
Okay. We'll put a pin in that. All right.
Yeah.
But that does it for us. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.